When I saw the notification on her iPad, my stomach sank. The message wasn't meant for me, yet it was impossible to ignore. Rebecca, my wife, had sent a text to her ex. Flirtatious, intimate, unmistakably familiar. My hand trembled as I read it. The realization hit like a blow. She wasn't just hiding something. She had openly crossed a line I had trusted her never to approach. We'd been married for 6 years. 6 years of shared mornings, late-night conversations, promises whispered in the dark. Rebecca had always been my anchor, the one person I thought I could trust above all else. But holding that iPad, synced to our home account, I saw how fragile that trust really was. Fragile and now shattered. I sank into the living room, mind racing. I could hear her coming down the stairs, humming softly, unaware that I already knew. She wore her casual Sunday clothes, hair tied up, carrying the coffee she always brewed for me. The contrast between her innocent appearance and the betrayal I had uncovered made my head spin. "Good morning, Mark," she said cheerfully, setting the cup down. "I thought you'd be awake by now." I didn't answer. Instead, I held the iPad out toward her. Her smile faltered. "What's that?" she asked, cautious, a tremor in her voice. "Care to explain this, Rebecca?" I asked, my tone calm but cutting. "You sent this message to your ex." Her face turned pale. She glanced at the screen and back at me, eyes wide. For a moment, I thought she might lie, but the truth was already written in her expression. "It's not what it looks like," she stammered. I shook my head slowly. "Not what it looks like. Rebecca, this is exactly what it looks like. You're talking to your ex behind my back, flirting, sending things you should only send to me. How is this not betrayal?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her hands fidgeted nervously with the edge of her sleeve. Silence stretched longer than any argument could, heavy and suffocating. The morning sun illuminated her guilt, her fear, a flicker of panic. I set the iPad down on the counter. "I don't know how we got here," I said quietly. "I trusted you completely, and now I don't even recognize you. You brought your past into our home, and I can't stay blind to it any longer." She tried to speak, but I cut her off. "Don't. Not now. Not ever." Rebecca sank into the couch, hands covering her face, as if hiding could undo what she'd done. The room felt heavier with every passing second. The weight of betrayal pressed down like a physical force. I watched her silently, heart pounding. Not out of anger yet, but from a hollow ache that seemed to consume everything inside me. "I didn't mean to, Mark," she whispered, voice breaking. "It was just a text. I didn't think it would matter." I shook my head slowly. "A text? Rebecca, it wasn't just a text. It was a choice, a deliberate, conscious choice to involve yourself with someone else. You knew the consequences, and you did it anyway." She looked up, tears glistening in her eyes. "We've been distant lately. You barely talk to me anymore. I felt lonely. I thought it was harmless." "Lonely," I echoed softly, almost laughing, but it came out bitter. "You felt lonely, so you went back to someone who isn't me, someone who belongs to your past." She opened her mouth, struggling to form words to explain the inexcusable. The silence swallowed them. I wanted to feel anger, but instead there was only emptiness. The woman I had loved for years had crossed a line I didn't even know existed. Her hands trembled as she reached for mine. "Please, Mark, don't leave. We can fix this. I promise I'll stop. I'll do whatever it takes." I pulled my hand away, keeping my distance. "Fix this? Rebecca, the trust we had isn't something you repair with promises after it's broken. You made your choice. That choice brought us here." She broke down completely, sobbing uncontrollably. I wanted to turn and leave, but I stayed, if only to witness the truth settle over her. The truth that some actions carry consequences that can't be undone. Some betrayals leave scars too deep for forgiveness. I moved to the kitchen, needing air, space to think. The iPad sat on the counter, like a monument to everything I had lost. For years, I had believed in us, in the life we were building. Now that life felt like a lie, shattered by a single message that carried more weight than any confrontation could. Rebecca followed, voice soft, trembling. Mark, please. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. I turned to face her, expression cold, voice steady. It didn't mean anything? Then why does it hurt more than anything I've ever felt in this house? Why do I feel like the person I loved is gone? She swallowed hard, unable to answer. Silence enveloped the room, except for her quiet sobs echoing in my mind. I stood there, watching her crumble, realizing that nothing she said now could undo what had been done. The woman I had trusted, the one I had built a life with, was someone I barely recognized. Shame and fear filled her eyes, but pity no longer existed in mine. I can't do this anymore, Rebecca, I said quietly, deliberate with each word. I can't pretend everything is okay when it isn't. You chose to betray me. You chose to bring someone from your past into our home, into our life. I can't stay silent anymore. She reached for me, desperation in her eyes. Please, Mark, just give me a chance. We can work through this. I love you. I shook my head slowly. Love isn't just words. Love is trust. And you destroyed that trust. She sank to the floor, burying her face in her hands. I made a mistake. Please, I'll do anything to make this right. I turned away. There was nothing left to say. Years of shared memories, laughter, and dreams now fell hollow, replaced by the bitter taste of reality. I grabbed a small bag, packing the things I couldn't bear to see every day. Clothes, personal items, small reminders of the life we once had. Rebecca watched silently, her sobs quieting as the finality of the moment sank in. No amount of tears or pleading could undo what had been done. I handed her the iPad, the instrument of her betrayal. Take it. But remember, this isn't just about a device. It's about choices and consequences. You brought this here. Now you have to live with it. She nodded, unable to speak. Her eyes met mine one last time, a mixture of regret, sorrow, and fear reflecting back at me. I left that morning, walking away not with anger, but with clarity. I had made my decision. I was done. Weeks passed. The house felt emptier than ever. Yet in that emptiness, I found a strange peace. I no longer needed her explanations, her excuses, or her apologies. The truth had been revealed, and with it, the freedom to reclaim my life. Sometimes betrayal isn't just about the act itself. It's the moment you realize someone you trusted is no longer who you thought they were. And when that moment comes, walking away isn't weakness, it's courage. Rebecca had texted her ex. She had broken the most sacred trust. And I walked away, finally free from the shadow of her deceit.